I want to show you something. Can you see? Majestic herd of deer. They've actually moved away a little bit, but where you can see those, the furthest of those molehills, they were stood there, staring. They're fascinated by me. They're such beautiful creatures, and they're otherworldly. There's something, they have a glow about them, deer, because they're sort of, these ones are, I mean, I suppose technically they're wild animals, but they are domesticated as well, so make of that what you will. But look, over on yonder hill, on the banks of the River Derwent, heading over to Chatsworth House. It is fabulous here. People say, oh, you're so lucky. And so, well, fortunate and blessed and grateful. But the truth is, I myself made the decision to come back here, despite all of the objections for my doing so. And I'm so glad that I did. I can't tell you actually how glad I am that I did it. Not just for the physical move here, but the spiritual effects that it's had. But I'll tell you what, my friends, I'll tell you what I see in a lot of people are bleakness. So bleak. Absolutely no optimism. I also see a lot of anger, and there are quite a few people that I've either already unfollowed or that I'm going to unfollow, because I don't want that kind of energy in my life. But you know, this is going to sound ironic, my friends. It's going to sound ironic. What I also see is a lot of what we might call hope, but it's false hope. And obviously, the thing is, I understand. I sound like a really sore loser. I know that I do. For having supported Trump becoming president in the first place, this time around, it's astounding what people will believe. Oh, you know, all the vaccine tyranny, pushing it on pregnant women and young children and killing people in nursing homes. But then they're re-voting for and putting hope in a false idol that is Donald Trump. I know, I didn't want this channel to be political in any way, but the thing is, it illustrates just how desperately people are to win for their side. I'm Republican, and I'm better than the Democrats because we want to vote somebody in who's actually going to make really positive changes. But then you watch people bragging, just bragging and bragging and bragging. People are always what they accuse other people of. The birds agree with me. They do. They agree with me. But you know, 4 years of Trump. No wall, double the amount of debt. He calls himself the father of the jab. And whatever you think about this, people don't have consistency in their thoughts. They just want to win. At the sake of all else. I want to win because it's motivated out of the right things. You can get to the right place for the wrong reasons. You can. You absolutely can. You can believe that if you vote in the Republicans in America, it's going to be better than under the Democrats. And what people don't realise is it's, as we say here in the UK, it's two cheeks of the same arse. It's opposite ends of the same turd. It's pantomime. It is. It's a show. Bread and circuses, as coined by the but during the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. It's all the same stuff. It's just the same principle in different form. Look, can you see? They're crossing the river. They don't need a bridge, because actually the Derwent, for the most part, is quite shallow, like a lot of people. And again, I'm not judging exactly. I mean, I am a bit, but it's astounding when you see what faith people put in princes. It's astounding that people don't see it, but I think that's actually events and dates and people and wars and palaces and dynasties of people. That's not history. That's propaganda. I think what is history, frankly, is that at any time it's only an absolutely minute group of people that see the charade for what it is, and vanishingly fewer people actually do anything about it. But I believe that there are positive forces out there for you, and I honestly believe that those positive forces are the people that you connect with, who will use and value the wisdom that you share. That's why I do what I do with this channel. And I often feel like I'm not doing enough. When I was in my last therapy session, my therapist was describing something that had happened to his girlfriend, and that she'd been in an abusive relationship. So too had my therapist. There's a lot of it around. There's a lot of trauma circulating in people. But there was one point where he was describing that his girlfriend felt like she hadn't done enough in her relationship with her abusive ex-husband, and felt trapped. And it was at this point that I just burst out in tears, because frankly I often feel that was the case with my ex-boyfriend. I don't feel like I did enough. I mean, rationally, intellectually, I know that I did. I couldn't possibly have done any more. And I think it is born out of a sense of responsibility that I won't let anybody rule over or dictate the conditions of my life. But the trauma of allowing myself to do that while I was with my ex, I actually found myself rejoining the dating site, well, the hookup app. It's not a dating site, the hookup app that we met on. Found myself creating a new profile last night, and I actually immediately found his profile and blocked his account, so there's no way of him contacting me. But it sort of felt a bit like deja vu, same thing over and over again. But the thing is, everything you have to go through the process of things, and people feel bleak because they feel like there's no solutions, there's nothing to feel positive about. And I sympathise with people, like I sympathise with my ex-boyfriend. He's not having a good time of things. I mean, if our, well, I say conversations, if our our times of him talking and me listening were anything to go by, he's not doing well. He's not feeling good about himself, and not treating people particularly well, because as a result of feeling like shit himself. And it's common and ubiquitous problem. It's everywhere. It's just very difficult to escape it. But even though my sleep pattern can get messed up and I can watch stupid things on YouTube and feel, fuck me, I've got a really addictive personality, I still get up and I washed my bedding yesterday, and this morning, after the duvet cover had completely dried, I put that on and made the bed. It looks beautiful, and I remember that because these thoughts happen, you can't control them, it's only how you respond to them. I just remember that shortly before my boyfriend and I broke up, that he said, oh, I went to the John Lewis website and I looked up how much that bedding was. It's quite expensive, isn't it, Martin? And I thought, fuck off. In my head, I told him to fuck off, because it's like, well, no, because I sleep in this bedding every single night, so it should be good. And we'll just ignore the fact that he spent tens and tens of thousands of pounds on jewellery, gold and diamond rings, no less, and wore them to work, and got off on the fact that there were people who said it was inappropriate that he was wearing that stuff. Loved it. Dysfunctional, combative. There. I know I go on diatribes every now and then about him, because the thing is, I'm exercising all the demons from it. And I think this is where bleakness comes from, that people get trapped in that stage, but you have to get it out. You can't push it down, you can't keep it in, because you explode eventually. That's what happens. That's what anger is. That's what violence is. It's what war is. It's people thinking, all that land is mine. And it's like, well, as soon as you've got this barren bit of land in the middle of Central Europe, people still aren't happy. People still aren't satisfied. People still aren't grateful. People still aren't peaceful or joyful. Can't be these things when you're holding on to the anger. The anger isn't the problem. Holding it in is. This is why I talk about optimism, because what optimism is saying there are solutions out there, I will find them, they will come to me at the right time. What hope is abdicating responsibility. That's the difference. People want Trump, or whichever party they vote for, they want Keir Starmer or Sadiq Khan or Trump or Meloni in Italy or whoever. People want those people to solve their problems, which obviously they will not do. They will only make them worse, because the further you push out responsibility and make your life devoid of it, the worse your life becomes. 100% guaranteed. That is a fact. You cannot have a good life and expect other people to do the work for you. And I think that's why people have such faith in politicians. Because rather than them wanting to do the work, they want the politicians to do the work. And of course we know that that's an illusion, it's a fantasy, but people believe it because doing it for yourself ain't easy, my friends. It ain't easy. But it is doable when you believe in yourself, you trust yourself, and you keep going. Mwah.